Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm AmandaMuse, and today is going to be a review and deep dive on the Nickelodeon resort in Dominican Republic. If you're new to my channel, I'm a mom of two. My kids are almost 9 and 11 years old, and I have done quite a bit of travel in my life, not exclusive to only resort type of experiences, but I did live in Malaysia for a while, a little bit on the more budget-friendly side versus the higher end. And with today's video, I want to share an honest review of my experience at the Nickelodeon resort in terms of budget, how the kids enjoyed it, how I enjoyed it as an adult, and we're just going to get right into it. And just a note that today's video is not sponsored. I do, however, work with many incredible brands, and when I do, I'm very clear about those sponsorships, and so just a heads up. That said though, as I carry on in my channel and hopefully partner with hotel brands down the line, I will always come with a very genuine, authentic experience for you, and so just keep that in mind. I did come prepared with my notebook. It's a brand new notebook for the new year, hence like the one page that's been used. I want to make sure I hit all the important key features of the resort, along with including any of your questions. So I recently shared a family vlog. I'm going to link it in the eye or down below in the video description. You can check that out. Definitely more family vlog style, a little bit about the resort, but you can get a feel for some of our days while we were there. I'm going to get to my cons in a moment, but I just want to say off the top, first and foremost, I had a wonderful experience at the Nickelodeon resort in Dominican Republic. It was incredible, and I'm not naturally drawn to all-inclusive style of resorts. I think it's because the last time I went on one, my son, who is 9, was like a year old and not even a year old. And so that difference in time is significant, and so I kind of kick myself because I wish I had done resorts with them a couple of years ago, but state of the world and life, and it wasn't on my radar. Because of my husband's work, we weren't sure if he was actually going to be coming with us on this resort. So when I was looking for resorts, I was really paying attention to ones where it just kind of had like everything you might need, where I didn't have to leave the resort. There were activities on the resort. Being by myself with the kids, safety was of top priority for me. And so I was looking into things that like I would feel comfortable doing and traveling solo. So keep that in mind. My husband Dean did end up leaving on day 3. So he stayed for 2 nights, which was really nice because we weren't even sure if he was going to be coming at all. So that was a total win. I know that everyone's like, but how much did it cost? It cost me a pretty penny, and it was very expensive. I will say that. That is pretty much my biggest con. The biggest and the top one is, yeah, it was expensive. When I looked into it, it was definitely more of a 5-star luxury experience. I say 5-star, but like with a grain of salt, because it's 5-star that is geared towards children. But again, that was kind of 5-star in my books because the pool was just filled with kids, and everybody was like totally cool with the kids being kids. That was another thing. I wanted to relax, and I also wanted my kids to have a really fun time. You know, I think a lot of us have experienced some stuff the last few years. If you followed my channel for any length of time, you know we've been through the ringer, and I just needed a bit of a reset button, and I was willing to spend the money in order to have a really good experience, and I'll say that we did. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of the resort itself, I just want to mention that my husband is a pilot, and so as a family we have access to airline passes, and so when we flew down to Dominican Republic, we actually flew standby. I sometimes get some questions about standby travel. You know, is this available to anybody? The answer is typically no, unless your ticket is a standby ticket. It's not something I would entirely recommend doing. You want to have a guaranteed flight when you're booking yourself into an all-inclusive. So I could talk about standby travel. I'll do that another time, but it's something that is typically afforded to airline employees. In terms of the flight, a couple things that are lovely is that it's a short flight from Toronto. You're looking at about 3.5 to 4 hours. We ended up going for about 5 days, I believe. So 3 full days in Dominican, 2 travel days. Not too bad when the travel isn't terribly long. We also tend to fly carry-on only. I say tend to, we do fly carry-on only. Anytime we fly on a pass, when you're flying standby, it just is that much easier. Also, because if you don't make the flight, you're not trying to find your bag and have it removed from the aircraft. Like you could easily just try to bump yourself onto a different flight. If you'd like me to do a video that really addresses like travel tips and hacks, like how I travel for carry-on and what do I pack and all of that, definitely let me know. I do have a trip coming up where I'm hopefully, I say hopefully because I don't know if I'm gonna make the flight, but I'm hopefully going to Mexico to see my sister for a couple days, and I'll be flying solo. So what I bring when I'm solo versus things I bring when I'm with the kids varies, you know, just slightly. So anyway, let me know in the comments if that's something of interest to you. Worth mentioning that we went in January. Again, coming back to the whole passes situation, I typically try to fly with my family in off-season type of dates. Now, January is not exactly off-season for Dominican Republic, but it was just after Christmas, and so a lot of people had already done their travel, and then a lot of people are waiting until February, March to do more travel. So we lucked out with getting there, all of us on one flight. Awesome. In terms of the resort itself, it wasn't very busy, which was kind of nice. We didn't have to rush down to the beach to grab seats or rush to the pool. It wasn't the warmest. So we were looking at about 22 to 25 degrees Celsius per day. Definitely much better than the, you know, those 0 to -5 degrees we were experiencing in Ontario during that time period. The pool, as a result of the cooler temperatures, was definitely chilly. Like, I was not spending an incredible amount of time in the pools. My kids, however, it's like they don't have a thermostat. They were totally fine, did not bother them one bit. Now, the ocean is a big question. How was the ocean? The waves were pretty intense, and typically when you're staying on a resort that is water access, you're gonna have a flag on the beach, and they will range in, you know, flag colors, green, red, yellow, that kind of stuff. We only had one day where there was a yellow flag, which was like swim at your own risk kind of thing. It was pretty good. There might have been one day of green, but I don't think so. So lots of waves on that side. A lot of people had messaged me and said that the one thing they were a little disappointed with when they went down to the DR is that there was a lot of seaweed on the beach. Now, when I woke up and did my morning sunrise day, yeah, there was a lot of seaweed. However, by the time the families hit the beach, the resort staff have actually cleared all of the seaweed from in front of the beach chairs, so that's really nice. So you're not gonna have to worry about stepping on icky seaweed or anything. It's more so that I wasn't super comfortable letting my kids just go into the ocean. Like, they stayed close to shore. We didn't spend a lot of time in the ocean water, which is too bad because the ocean is far warmer than the pool. I had asked my kids what was something that they didn't like about the resort, and it was twofold. They loved room service. Like, we ordered it every day. Loved it. But the con is that it took a while to get to our room, and one time we just never got it. So after that first time realizing it wasn't just delayed, it really wasn't coming, my recommendation is that if you haven't received your food within 20 to 30 minutes, call again. It's a busy resort, and so it can take a little while for them to get you your food. The food was incredible. I stayed away from salads, but I ate a lot of fruit, ate a lot of cooked vegetables. The meat was wonderful. It was just exquisite. I had no tummy problems the whole time, which when we travel to certain places, there is things like don't drink the water, which we never did. I even brushed with bottled water. So I stayed away from the water. I also brought a ton of medicine with me, you know, things like Pepto-Bismol, you know, stuff to stop traveler's diarrhea, you know, if you get a, you know, all of that stuff. If you get dehydrated, I had powdered electrolytes, like I brought it all, especially being solo with my children. Like, if I fall sick, I want to make sure that I'm going to be okay and manage to be able to take care of them, right? So I had all of that with me, and I didn't have to use it at all. I still dream about the breakfasts. I was eating smoked salmon with poached eggs and hollandaise sauce, and the best hash browns I've probably ever had. So, like, the food was amazing. My kids loved it. And the food was really catered to children of all ages and people of all ages. Like, the room service, which is free, had things like chicken nuggets, French fries, mac and cheese. Every night, my kids had mac and cheese and French fries and nuggets delivered to the room, and it was really fun. I loved that there was a water park within access of the resort. Now, if you take a look at the map, if I find a picture, I'll put it up here, but it looks massive. And I was looking at this like, holy smokes, it's gonna take us like a year to get around this resort. It actually is not that bad. it's not to scale, okay? There are golf carts, which honestly are kind of part of the experience. It's really fun. The kids love the golf carts. 2 bus stops on one side of the resort where all the rooms are, and then a stop where the water park is. They have a great app which you download upon arriving, and you can see all of the activities that are happening throughout the day. There are activities catered for little ones and then the bigger kids, and we loved after dinner, so we hit up one of the restaurants, and after dinner there was a show on the water park side, and it was really fun, very engaging. My kids were at this sweet spot of an age where they wanted to participate. They weren't too shy. Honestly, it was great. Now, all of this to say, if you are an experienced traveler, you might have a similar vibe about this, but I don't actually feel like I visited Dominican Republic. Like I was on a resort in this bubble. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a more, local experience, this is not it. To me, this was plucking us out of winter in Ontario and plopping us on a beach, and that is all I was looking for. I wasn't really keen to do anything off the resort. I'm gonna get to a few things that we did that were extra, but I just wanna talk about the rooms for a moment. This is the Nest swim up room. So you come in and you have the bathroom here. We have loaded it full of junk because that's what you do when you're on vacation. So this is the bathroom. You got the double sinks, towels underneath, lots of bars and things to hang your wet clothing. You have the separate shower here, which is really nice. It's a rain shower. And of course it comes with all your things you need, shampoo, conditioner, and actually it's really good conditioner, so heads up. And then of course your bathroom has its own separate door as well. Very good water pressure, must admit. So you come out here, you've got the closets, really big closet space actually. So if you were, traveling with more people than we are, or even more luggage, like your luggage would all fit in the bottom here. We just hang some of our stuff we're gonna wear tonight. Storage up top too. You have the safe, more storage. I mean, there's just like ample space to store things. Come in, and then you have the king bed, which is, I feel like a very big king bed. Like I have a king, this feels bigger somehow. It also has the double sofa bed. I personally wouldn't want to sleep on it. This bed is very firm, very comfortable. My daughter does like this bed though. So I mean, if you're a tween, doable. Lots of area to store your personal items. In here we have the mini bar over here, which, I mean, it's not exactly like stocked full of stuff. We had some snacks from a previous, so we still have some things in there. And, coffee maker, I used that this morning. It tastes reasonable. More storage. This, because we have the sofa bed out, we've put the little tables in the corner. And then you come out into our swim up area, which I was showing you guys on Instagram. Honestly, so wonderful. So you have this cozy area, the 2 chairs, that which is pulled out, could fit like 3 people. And then of course you're out here, and we're in room number, building number 8, which opens up over there to a swim up bar. It's amazing, but it has the chairs on one side, the swim up bar down there, and then the ocean is just one over. And that's our room, you guys. Oh, and then I should also add, again, lots of area for hanging your things. So, and this is another feature we didn't have to use because my kids are older, but this closes if you have little ones that you don't want running into the pool for safety reasons, right? I splurged and I did a swim up room. I'm telling you, I just didn't look at the price and hit purchase. The reason I went with a swim up room is with the kids being at the ages that they are, 9 and 11, they can swim. I wanted to have an opportunity to continue the fun regardless of how I was feeling. So coming back to like tummy bugs and all of that stuff, I thought to myself, if I fall sick, at least if we have a swim up room, I can be lounging on the day bed outside, with my head on a pillow while the kids swim and I can watch them. What ended up happening is we didn't get sick, but every evening we did night swims because the pool lights up. We also took time in, mid-afternoon after we had our big breakfast and a day of activities, we'd come back to the room and just chill, just the 3 of us. We were in building 8, I believe, and if you look at the map and you see building 8, our building actually had the swim up bar. So again, what was lovely is like we'd get to our room midday, and I'd mosey over and get myself a little drink. My favorite drink was called an iceberg, which is basically a beer with you know, like the margarita, the slushy margarita on top. So it's like a shandy, so good. And it's not overly strong, you know, and to be honest, I was on vacation with my children. I wasn't exactly getting liquored up every day, but hey, I'm on vacation, so I'm having a beverage. But it was lovely because I'd walk over, get my drink, the kids had their virgin pina coladas, and then we'd swim back to our room, and it was honestly so fun. If you can afford a swim up room and your kids are of an age where they can swim, it was incredible. Now I can imagine if they were a little younger and needed my assistance, that would drive me crazy because I'd be in the pool all day when I didn't want to be, right? I can't say enough about those swim up rooms. Like, I'd probably never do a swim up room if it was just like me and my partner, like, or just me. Like when I go to Mexico, I did not book a swim up room for myself, you know? But with the kids, I can see me doing that every time if it's in the budget. My daughter, who is 11, did say that she preferred the theater shows to the productions over by the water park. And I said, well, why? Because, you know, they were both equally entertaining. But the reason she liked the theater show is that it was within the village area. So if you weren't having a great time, you could pop over and get some cotton candy or some popcorn, and like everything's kind of in that area. There's a live performance, like singing and dancing. It was really fun. And all of the restaurants were really good. I will say that there's only one restaurant you have to make a reservation at. That's called Spacewalker, and you do that with your concierge. I will say about the concierge, like your buildings determine who your concierge is. There's like a little building that we went to, you know, away from the lobby, and that was where our concierge was. There's also a bouncy castle, and they have this little nook within the village area that has a bouncy castle in the evenings and popcorn and cotton candy and face painting and hula hoops, and I'm telling you, like really catered to kids, which is really fun. Like your kids will make friends with other people, they will dance, they will play, you get a chance to chill. And it felt like a place where we weren't judging other parents for having families. Couple of things I would recommend. The first one is book yourself a private shuttle. I was again a little apprehensive about how I would get from the airport to the resort because I didn't book this whole package with the flight and the resort. And so what I had actually done based on recommendations from people messaging me on Instagram was book a private one. So I called the resort, I told them my arrival date and my departure date, and they have a contract with, you know, a shuttle service. And so we had a private shuttle. It was lovely. In terms of currency, I basically brought American money. My sister does a lot of resort travel, and so she had recommended get yourself some American money before you go and get a lot of like ones and fives and that kind of lower currency because it's nice to tip people. And I just tipped in American dollars, and you don't have to tip when you're on a resort. I just find it polite, and I don't mind, you know, $1 here and there for services. And so that's what I did. And because everything was prepaid, the shuttle was prepaid, the resort was all paid. It's not like I was needing to have cash on me. It was just those small amounts. The other thing I'd recommend at the resort is the character breakfast. We were only there for a short time, like I said, 5 days from beginning to end, but that meant like 3 full days. And I wanted to make sure that my kids saw the characters. SpongeBob, Dora, Boots, who else? I can't remember all the names of them, but anyway, in order to do that, I was like, let's get the most bang for my buck. You have a beautiful buffet breakfast with added loveliness like lobster. So my daughter was having lobster for breakfast. She loved it. And then you have a chance to see all of the characters and take pictures with them. So for me, that was like a highlight moment. It was so fun to have that one-on-one time, and you didn't feel like you were waiting in line to see all of these characters. So again, if it's within the budget, I'd highly recommend that one. Like I said, the swim up room is just, it blew the experience out of the park for me. It really felt luxurious, and it made the trip incredible, honestly. Just to be able to lounge out there in the evenings while the kids swam, and I didn't have to go in the water with them, right? Because they were like right there in front of me and I'm watching them. So that was amazing. The Wi-Fi was really good. I felt like I had Wi-Fi all throughout the resort. That was awesome because with the nature of my job, I like to document our experiences, and so I did. So actually, if you want to see more of like the day-to-day in the moment experiences, head to my Instagram at AmandaMuse, and you're going to see a highlight that says travel or Dominican or has a palm tree on it, one of those, and you'll see our full experience there. I have this awesome picture on my desk. The only, you can buy pictures from the resort. That's the only thing is I splurged on a personal sliming situation. Again, because we were only there for 3 days, I wanted to make sure that we had those experiences. There are opportunities, like I think every day around 4 p.m. and there might be other times, there's a daily slime within the water park. So fun, but it was also really fun to do that personal sliming situation, especially because my husband was only there for like a day with us, Another really cool thing is that instead of a hotel room key, you actually end up with a bracelet, and the bracelet unlocks the door. The bracelet is waterproof. At first I thought it was a bit chunky, and in the end I loved that thing because I didn't have to bring anything with me when I left the room. I definitely recommend having like a little travel purse. I tend to have like a little fanny pack style, Lululemon kind of Amazon dupe, you know what I'm saying? But I have one of those, and I just had my phone, couple of ones, to tip if needed, and that's all you need. Food is available all the time. So again, room service is free. There's a beautiful buffet. We all really loved the buffet. I also really enjoyed the Italian restaurant, and we went to Spacewalker, and we liked those too, but the buffet for us kind of like was la crème de la crème, like really good stuff, really well prepared, nice ambiance on the inside. We enjoyed it. There's a little cafe, you can get frozen yogurt or ice cream or whatever it was. You can get coffees, you can get sandwiches like panini style. I was really full after each meal, so I don't feel like we snacked too much in between. I just kind of ate my fill every time there was a chance, as you do at resorts. So one day we were on the beach around lunchtime, and they brought out this awesome taco stand area. It was delicious, kind of burrito style really. And then when we were at lunch at the kids side at the water park, we rented, oh, this was again a little bit of a perk. We rented one of the cabana areas. So you have like the big sunbed, and you have your own personal waiter concierge thing. God, we sound like we were really bougie. We're not this bougie in real life. I really splurged. Like, I'm not gonna cry in this video because I've cried enough in the last few years, but our little family just had a really, really hard go over the pandemic with job loss and all of that. And it's just like we needed this, So to me, it was like, I felt like one of my late grandfathers who like, prices of no issue, no concern. I was like, I do not care. I'm spending the money. You know what I mean? So that was really nice to have that daybed situation. And we had like nuggets and pizza and drinks, and it was lovely. It was truly lovely. But there was always food. Like, I was never hungry. I truly enjoyed my experience. The resort felt very well maintained. The rooms were lovely. I felt safe. I felt relaxed. The shuttle to and from the hotel, which I believe is with a company called BRX, I think that's the name. The airport in Dominican is lovely. I didn't expect it to be that advanced, to be honest. Again, I've traveled in places in Southeast Asia where like it's open air and there's, not much going on, So it was really, I was quite surprised. Like, we had Wendy's before we got on the plane, and But the price, I think the price is the biggest deterrent. You know, I feel very privileged that I was able to provide that wonderful vacation for my family. It was expensive though. So if you ever come across a good deal and you can book in advance, I'd recommend it. I'm now going to jump to some questions that I wrote down from Instagram and from YouTube on my last vlog video. How to book shuttle to and from hotel. I just called the hotel. I found that the easiest. I wanted to ensure that there was that safety, that it was a company that was recommended by the hotel. Best ages that the resort is suited for, you know, 4 and 7 type of thing. I would say, again, I'm at the 8 and 11, 9 and 11 phase. That was amazing. I think that with Esme nearing 12, she's in that teen life, I would aim to go to a resort that is definitely family oriented, but maybe one that has bigger water slides. I found the water slides a bit tame for her and I couldn't go on them. It was like kids only. So, you know, I'll keep that in mind for my next time, but I'd say like 4 and up, super fun. I know everybody wants to know exactly what I paid. I do find that a little bit in poor taste, but if you take a look at Expedia, I think the prices vary, but it's not cheap, okay? I'm gonna tell you that much. Any activities off of the resort? No, I did not do that. Being that I was by myself with the kids, it's not something I was interested in. Again, I was like, safety was top of mind. I don't know Dominican too well. It was a real last minute decision to go to the DR. I just don't know much about it. Full stop. So I didn't. There are lots of opportunities to do stuff, but I chose a resort that had a ton of activities on it, so I didn't have to leave. Type of currency, I went with US. I think it's pesos, if not, but we just went with US currency, kept it simple. Can you do all-inclusive without buying the flight? You can. And you know, it's something worth looking into. You can go right to the Nickelodeon resort and book it that way. Is it very isolated from Dominican Republic? Yeah, it is. It really is. I can't say that I've really seen the Dominican, honestly. Like I was saying earlier, it's a very different type of travel. It is luxury, kind of escapist holiday travel. It's not like a trip I just recently did to Venice, for example, where I was like touring Italy and on trains and just really absorbed and immersed in the culture. Like, no, it was not that type of experience. It was very fun. I got to practice my very minimal Spanish. That was nice. But otherwise, it was truly being plucked out of winter and plopped onto a beach, and it was wonderful. Let me know if you're planning a trip, even if it's not Nickelodeon Resort in the DR. Where are you headed? Let me know in the comments. I will be heading to Mexico. Fingers crossed I get on the flight. I always get so stressed. We'll see. If I get there, you'll see some selfies, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.